This is what's tricky about these. They don't give you great access. But all that is down inside that channel right there. So we'll make sure you keep those clear the best you can. They're not easy to access, these drain pans. And it takes some time to clean them. But that stuff will plug up your drain real quick. Got some intellipack maintenance we're doing. Gotta clean these coils, but first thing I noticed, this unit's about a year old. Discharge bypass valve. Check this out. It's just hanging there. So take some 1/4 inch tubing, split it, and we're gonna pop that 1/4 inch tubing on that tube there. We're gonna work it all the way down, and then we'll get it wire tied to this line so it doesn't vibrate, and that plastic should protect it. There's our finished product. Nice and sturdy. So we don't have to worry about this line rubbing through and losing 70 pounds of refrigerant. So, touch on a few things here. Cleaning my condenser coils, I like to start on the inside of there and work my way back. That way you don't have water dripping on you. You're going to get wet with these things, but that keeps it to a minimum. This is also lead lag, so first stage runs, satisfies VAV system, so 55-degree air, and turns off. And then next cycle, second stage runs. So I don't want to be spraying these coils with fans running and getting the condensers wet, because you will get water in there and it can cause high pressure trips and issues. So I'm kind of working my way back and forth. This one's running now. I'm going to start cleaning these coils. The inside's done. I got these two done when the other stage was running, and then I switched around to the other stage when this stage cycled on. So that stage is running now. We're gonna get these cleaned up, and then we'll blow them out with the blower. You can see right here in the corners there's a piece of insulation back there. So I like to start by rinsing those sides down real well. Get everything out of that insulation, and then start from the top, work your way down. Rinsing these coils, I like to give me a little ladder. Keeps me a little bit more dry, standing up and just rinsing all that dirt down and out. Letting gravity help us out on this angled coil. When we get done, we'll rinse out the inside so all this stuff doesn't dry up, and suck right back on the coil. Gonna rinse all this crap off these compressors, all that dirt that came out of the coil. Get it all down into this pan. And we're gonna keep an eye on these IntelliPacks. See my weep hole right there. So channel runs all the way around the base. So we're going to keep rinsing that channel out, make sure our weep holes are draining real well. And we're going to get all this dirt and crap out of here, and then we'll rinse it over to the drain. We got our compressor section cleaned out real well. It's nice. Weep holes are draining. Before we get all the base cleaned up, everything else kind of settles into here. So we're going to get in there and rinse all that crap out of here. This is mainly all cottonwood, so it will dry out and suck right back up onto that coil. So you want to get it out and away from your condenser. We're going to rinse everything over there to that drain, and then we'll pick up our trash. We got a few wire ties and stuff laying in there. We'll get all that up and get this guy cleaned up, maybe move on to the drain pan and belt. Alright, so we're going to get this guy shut off in just a minute. I went ahead, I've got all my hinges disconnected. This is a fairly new unit, so we're going to get in every panel and just check. We're going to be looking for rub outs. We're going to be looking for shipping panels. The isolators and everything need to be removed on the blower motors, as well as the compressors, which I checked yesterday. There's bolts and plates that have to be removed from shipping. We've got our plugs taken out of the drain lines. We're going to rinse these drains out. Condensers came nice and clean yesterday. I'm doing this first thing in the morning just because I don't want to have this shut off for too long, especially in the sun and the heat of the afternoon. It's not been too hot, but so here's our control. We're VVDA, which is going to be variable volume discharge air. It says a VAV system. We should be able to just go in here and hit stop, and that unit's going to stop for us automatically. We don't have to, no need to kill the disconnect right now. Just keep in mind there is still power in these panels, but I'm going to do that last. I can do that when I get it back up and running. We do have two blower motors. Stuff like this is going to fly up in that blower wheel, so we're going to get all that trash taken out of it. Looks like all the shipping brackets and such are out. You can see the springs. These sit on springs and keeps the vibration down. Again, these aren't that old, so our belts are going to be in pretty good shape. And we'll look at the bearings, but this thing hadn't even run a year, so we're probably not going to grease the bearings at this point either. Little stuff like this, that's going to have to come off of there. These guys at the factory that put these together aren't service guys, so keep in mind you're going to have rub outs, just like the line over there in the condenser section. So we just want to make sure we're securing everything and doing the best possible job for the customer that we can, because these hold about 70 pounds of refrigerant, and I don't want to be in here trying to fix a leak. Now, this is not my favorite drainage system, but you can see even after just a little bit of time the crap that we got built up in the bottom of here. So these coils drain directly under, and just like we saw the weep holes on our condenser, there's a channel right inside there, and it's going to drain out there. So we're going to, I'm going to get as much of this crap out as I can with my hands, pull it out and throw it away, and then we'll get the hose in here and rinse it out real well. I'm not sure where that went to. Maybe they just left me an extra one. So again, they're pushing these guys as the manufacturers. They're not service guys, and they're pushing them to get these things out of here. Found all this good stuff inside the bottom panel here. Got a bracket from something. Chain that's supposed to be to hold the doors open. We got a pipe clamp, some screws, a cap, wire nut. I don't think we're missing any caps. Looks like all my caps are on there. So they just left an extra one. We've got the drain pan cleaned out the best we can for right now. And we're gonna start up top because these channels drain down on those tubes into the bottom. So we're gonna start up here. Make sure we rinse all this out real good. And then same thing on the bottom. We'll rinse everything down and then out the drain. Putting some nice chunks out of there. I've just got the hose set up in there right now. Got it turned on. We're gonna let that run for a little while. We'll kind of get in there with our hands and help push some of that big stuff out. Most of it's going out the other side now. You see all the crap that came out even before I started rinsing. And while we're rinsing that pan, we're gonna give everything just a quick look and make sure everything looks normal. This is my return fan here. So we maintain a certain building static. The main fan VFD operates off of a set point of static pressure in the duct, and then there's a space static pressure that we try to maintain a slight positive using this. When the economizer opens, lets outdoor air in at a certain percentage, return fan comes on and dumps air out of the building to keep our pressure within normal ranges. These are our VFDs here. We got supply fan left and right and return fan. Again, I'm being careful because there is still power to this unit. I've just got it, instead of auto, we've got it turned off right now. Filters are nice and clean. Not sure the hell that goes to. Most of this, guys, just looks like it's from construction. Like I said, this unit's not that old. We'll get back here and rinse our drain pan out on the back side too. A lot of that crap that came out just felt like it might have been drywall or something like that when it's running while they're under construction. Everything else looking pretty good. Drain pan coming clean. And there's that channel right down to the drain line. You see a little bit of crap in there, so we're gonna rinse those out too. We're gonna let this flush for a little while longer. You see our drain pan's pretty clean. I got it flushing from the center under that bar and out, and we're just gonna let it run like that for a little while. We'll move it over and let it spray through that one. Make sure everything's good and clean, get all this crap out we can. It's not gonna be perfect, but we'll spray it down with some Viper pan cleaner. Start up here, spray the bottom of the coil, and then get backside drain pan and then front side drain pan. Alright, so on our bearings, we want to inspect all of our grease lines. These have external grease ports. So these lines run to each bearing, and we can get to them from over there. But with age, these things will crack, and if you're not paying attention, you'll be just shoving grease. It'll be falling down in here wherever. So always inspect your grease lines and know what you're doing before you do it. Make sure your bearings are getting greased. We'll go through a quick overview of our control panel here. This is our interface, obviously, that we can access via that. We've got turn fan VFD. These are the remote controls for them. Supply fan left and right. Main fuses, main terminal block. Don't know why these are a little different, but we have overload breakers for the compressors. They used to have contactors in here on the older models. They actually moved their contactors. They're in an outdoor rated box right inside the center of the two condensers. And then this is for all of our controls, UC400s. That communicates on my comm link back down to the main controller and all of the VAV boxes, condenser fan motor fuses, and condenser fan motor contactors. So we don't always run all the condenser fans depending on outdoor temperature. We'll cycle those fans on and off. See, my unit stopped, so we can just go put it back in auto. It's going to take a minute to update, and then it should go back to it's going to go standby, and then it'll go back to normal operation. So from here we can take a look at all of our VAV boxes and fan powered terminals. Fan powered terminals are going to have heat on them, electric heat strips. VAVs are just a damper, so you can see like this one's in heat mode, so it's trying to warm the space. It's probably an interior space, so it's just warming up naturally, shuts the airflow off and allows the space to warm. But we can monitor all of our set points, actual temperatures, discharge temperature, airflow, and the valve position, all that good stuff. We can scroll down. We've got 4 floors here and a lot of boxes, so we're just going to make sure all of our temperatures are within a degree or so of set point. And this does operate off of a supplier reset. If I go down to devices, this is the other thing I like to do, especially with these new buildings. Go to Airify, and these are all my boxes here. So it gives me their actual rotary address for each box, and I can identify and change this display name from VAV 104 to whatever actual space it is, actually, whether it be conference room or office or open space, whatever. So I like to get in there and name some of those. It makes it easier in the long run when you have to come back and you have a specific area that's not working. So this here is my equipment view. These marks here showing me that these points are out of service. So this is communicated sensors in the unit. So those are not being used right now. We do have a lot of information here. So discharge air cooling set point is done via an algorithm depending on outdoor conditions, return air conditions, and humidity, and it will reset the supply air temperature from 55 to about 65 degrees. Let's see here. There's all my economizer settings. These are my cooling outputs, cooling capacity, economizer minimum position, exhaust enabled set point. So when that economizer hits 25%, it brings that exhaust fan on. And these are temperatures, evaporator leaving, freeze protection set point. There's my duct static.
daytime warm-up, initiate and terminate. So it will go through a morning warm-up, as with any VAV system, warm the space up, typically on an average of a few sensors, and then go back to normal cooling mode, 55 to 65 degree supply air, and let the electric reheat take care of any heating calls. And you got morning warm-up set points too. The daytime warm-up is not enabled on this, I don't believe. And that's just in the day. If the temperature were to drop in the space, it will bring the heat on the unit on, rather than the typical is just in the morning. And there's our space static set point. So 0.808, we're just maintaining a slight positive on the space.
I tend to be a little particular about what and how I do things, but when you guys are done with your hoses, string them out and let them drain. They will last a lot longer, and they'll weigh about a quarter of what they do with water in them. So just a little tip, always drain your hoses. Another intellipack in the books, guys. We're gonna do a couple more checks on this guy. Ductless splits all have been clean. ERVs, belts are good. Got all my stuff by the roof hatch. We're about ready to go. Let me show you the view I got here. I appreciate y'all watching. Leave me a comment, subscribe. If you got something out of this, hit that bell like button and get updated every time I upload new content, typically on Tuesdays. I got a nice view here, a little pond, and a trifecta of other buildings I've been into, VAV systems on both. The far one's got an intellipack, and this has a trane split system that's set up for VAV operation. So let me know what y'all think. We'll see you guys on the next one.